Good morning, parents and students. We are now in the second quarter, week 1 of the module in grade 5. Topic is giving the place value and the value of a digit of a given decimal through 10 thousandths. Okay, so nasa second quarter na tayo, week 1. This is about decimals, di ba? So, actually, hindi muna tayo magdi-discuss tungkol doon mismo sa decimals, but we will be focusing on the place value and the value of the decimals. Okay? So, when do we say na decimal ang isang number? So, example is, let's say, in the example na ito, number 1, what digit is in the tens place? Okay? So, yan yung tanong. Pero before natin i-answer, let us first understand kung ano muna yung sa place value ng numbers. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na whole number, and then on the other side naman, we call that the decimal. So, paano ba yon? So, let's say we have a number here na okay. So, ayan. So, we have 1, and then this is a decimal point, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So, yung number na nandito, yan ang tinatawag natin na whole number. Okay? Call that the whole number. So, whole number. Okay? Now, on the other side, we call this a decimal point. Ito naman. Ito yung tinatawag naman natin na decimals. Okay? Yan yung decimal. So, syempre, ito, this one, we call that the decimal point. Kasi it's a point. So, again the numbers on the left, nandito, we call them the whole number, or the whole numbers kung marami. We call that the decimal point. And then this one, ito yung decimal. So, we will be focusing on the decimals kasi we are done with the whole numbers. Okay? So, decimal point, if we're going to read the decimal point, we call that, we read that as end. End ang basa sa kanya. So, for example, in this number, ang basa natin dyan sa sa buong number na ito, dito, ang basa natin dyan ay 1 and then we read this as a whole number 2,345, and then we have to identify the place value of this one. Okay, so this is 1 and 2,345 10 thousandths. Okay, so syempre, before that, bago tayo mag-proceed doon, let's try muna on how to write the numbers. Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's first identify the number. So let's say I have a number here, which is, let's try lang muna as an example. So let's say we have 1, so we will be focusing on the place value place value. So place value tayo. Place value of decimals. Okay. Again, ito ay whole number. And then this is the decimal point. Then let's try to identify the value or the place value of each of the digits. So let's start off with this. Then this. And then this. And this. And then this. Okay? So, kung sa whole number, ito ay ones, the place value ay ones, sa decimal, wala tayong tinatawag na ones. The first number that comes after the decimal point is what we call the tenths. Okay? It's the tenths. Take note of the spelling kasi doon sa ating whole number, may number na 1 and then the S. Sa place value, meron tayong yung 10 and then THS. So, nagkaroon na ng TH. Next, this one, syempre, hundreds. Take note also of the pronunciation of the word. It is hundredths. We do not read the letter D in the hundred. So, we read it as hundredths. Wala yung silent or silent D. Okay. The next one is thousandths. Again, take note of the spelling. Meron tayong ginagamit na TH and then yung S yung nasa dulo. Okay? So, after the thousandths, syempre, susunod na dyan yung 10 thousandths. Okay? So, 10 and then thousandths. Okay? Meron pa rin siyang THS. So, syempre, after the thousandths, the 10 thousandths, follow dyan ng 100 thousandths. Pero, since we will be focusing only hanggang 10 thousandths, we might just as well add this. Dagdag na lang natin. Pero remember, the place value of decimals doesn't end with 10 thousandths. Mahaba yan. So, after by 100 thousandths, susunod na dyan ay millions. And then 10 millions, followed by 100 millions, and then and so on and so forth. We will just be focusing on 10 thousandths place. Again, remember, take note of the spelling. Okay, so write natin. So, yung 2 ay tenths. Okay. Yung 3 ay hundredths. Again, take note of the spelling. Iba yan sa whole numbers. Yung 4, yan ay thousandths. And yung 5, yan ay 10 thousandths. Hanggang dyan lang tayo sa 10 thousandths. Okay? So, yung 6, disregard na muna natin. Pero, kasama pa din siya into the place value of decimals. Nagkataon nga lang na we will be focusing on the place value of these numbers. Don't forget, ito ay whole number, which is in the ones place. Ito ay ang decimal point. Ang basa ay end, followed by the first digit, which is tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths and 100,000ths. Pero sabi ko nga, we will be focusing only until the 100,000ths. 10,000ths. Wag muna tayo sa 100,000ths. Okay? So we will be answering numbers wherein we are being asked what is the place value of the digit. Okay? So let us start. Don't forget that. At saka, if ever na hindi nyo naman sa ulo, you can always start on the tens para hindi kayo nalilito. Okay? Kasi there are students who made mistakes, especially doon sa pag inaalam na yung place value ng numbers. Okay? So, punta tayo dito. Okay? Let's see. I hope na nagiging malinaw sa inyong mga screens. So, number 1, in 401 and 6/10, what's the value? What digit is in the tens place, diba? So, makikita naman natin na isa lang siya. Isa lang yung number na nasa decimal place kasi whole number na siya. And then, yung iba, wala na. Diba? So, ayan o. Yung number na nandito sa left side. Okay. Let us focus on the number. Okay. Ito, 401, this is whole number. We have here the decimal point. So the number that comes after the decimal point going to the right, they are now the decimals. So ang tinatanong sa atin, what digit is in the tens place? Kita naman natin, tens daw. So meaning, look at the spelling, meron siyang THS, meaning it pertains to the decimals, not in the whole numbers. So, isa lang naman yan. Okay, isa lang naman yan, which is yung 6. So, the answer here is letter D. Okay? Now, ito naman, sa pangalawa, we are asked about the value. Okay? Let us try to differentiate the place value and the value. Okay? So, nagkaroon kasi agad ng ganong question. So, let's try the place value. And on the other side, the value. Okay? Now, when we say place value, it pertains to the words, yung mga ginagamit natin. So, ano bang place value? The value can be tenths, it can be hundredths, and also it can be thousandths. Okay? Yung place value, siya yung merong THS. Okay? Madaling salita, place value, yun yung mga words na ginagamit. So, kumbaga, word ang sinusulat. Okay? Whereas the value pertains to the number. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Let's say, in the example na given kanina na okay? If you are asked about the place value of the number 6, okay? Place value, the place value is tenths. Yan yung place value. Okay? Now, the value, it's either you write it in words, pwede rin naman siya in words, kaya lang, nakasulat na siya, hindi na tens, hundreds, thousands. Meron na siyang number na kasama. So, the value would be, you can say na, ganyan, 6/10, or pwede mo siyang lagyan ng 0 and 6/10. Or, you can write that into words na 6/10. Okay? So, if if we talk value, it pertains to the number na ang kanyang binibigay. Again, place value pertains to the word, and then the value pertains to the number. So there are different ways on how you can write it. You can write it using the decimal point na you have here the decimal point, and then you have here the value, which is 6. Now, if you're going to read this, you read this as 6/10. Now, kapag ganun naman, that is also considered, or you can add 0 in front doon sa ating whole number so that it can be 0 and 6/10. Remember, ang basa natin sa decimal point, ang basa dyan ay end. Especially kung merong nauna na number sa nasa kanyang harapan na whole number, kahit na siya ay 0. But in this case, since wala namang number dito, you can just read it as 6/10, na it means na ito daw ay decimal. Or, kung gusto mong basahin yung decimal point, syempre maglagay ka doon ng whole number. It can also be 0. So, you can say it 0 and 6/10. Or, you can write it in words also. Yung nga lang, hindi na basta decimal, hindi lang basta place value. You have to include the number 6/10. So in the example natin dito, what is the value of 6 in this number? So the choices are 6, 6/10, 600s, 6,000s. The answer there is yung 6/10, which is letter B. Okay? So, ito, 6/10. Pasensya na at medyo nagloloko na yung tablet na ginagamit ko dahil luma na siya, kaya naghahang. Okay? So, the answer here is 6/10. So, you can see, meron siyang sinulat na place value doon, tenths. Pero, since ang tinatanong sa kanya ay yung value, dahil value ang itinatanong sa kanya, you have to include the number 6/10. Okay? Again, next. Puntahan natin yung number 3. Okay? Puntahan natin yung number 3. Nakakita ba? Okay. Tignan natin. Okay, so the given number is 89 and 345 thousandths. Okay? Tinatanong, what is the place value of the digit 5? So, ito yun. Ito yung tinatanong, ano daw yung kanyang place value? Okay? Place value of the digit 5. Now, kung hindi mo naman ma-recall yung pagkakasunod-sunod nung place value, you can just always start from the beginning na isa-isa mong binibigkas yung place value. Okay? Basta siguraduhin mo lang na hindi ka magkakamali doon sa pagkakasunod-sunod nila. Okay? So remember, we start the place value of decimals with tenths, hundredths, thousandths, and then 10,000s. Okay? So, tingnan natin. Ito daw. Ano daw yung place value nito? Okay. Ito yung decimal point. Yung number na nandito, hindi natin yan pakikialaman kasi yan ay whole number. Okay? So, punta tayo doon sa numbers na nandoon sa kanan. Remember, meron tayo dito ang decimal point. So, kung ito ang decimal point natin, dito tayo magsisimulang magbigay ng kanyang place value. So, this one is tenths. Okay. This one is hundredths. and this is thousandths. Okay. So, this is tenths, this is hundredths, and this is thousandths. Therefore, the place value of the digit 5 is thousandths. So, you just have to go to your example, or to the question, and then look for the place value na ang sabi ay thousandths. So, A tenths, hundredths, C thousandths, D 10,000. So, our answer is letter C, thousandths. Okay? So, ganun yun. Now, dito naman sa number 4, pinapahanap naman sa atin yung number. Which number has 2 thousandths? So, alin daw dyan yung may 2 thousandths? Aling number sa given ang merong 2 thousandths na value? Okay? Dito, tingnan natin. Oh. Diba? You just have to look on each of the given number. So, basahin mo. 8 and 32 thousandths. So, ayun agad. Oh. Ito, 162. So, hindi. Ito ay 0 and 324 thousandths. Eh, ang inaalam natin, tas remember, yung 2,000. So, hindi na rin pwede yan. Ito naman, 4 and 2 tenths. So, hindi rin pwede. Di ba? So, alin dyan yung merong value na 2,000s? That is the answer in letter A, 8 and 32 thousandths. Dito naman, writing naman to. Kasi the topic is about reading and writing and then identifying the place value of decimal. So, dito sa number 5, pinapasulat na agad. Okay? Don't worry, madali lang din naman yan. Okay? So, let us understand the given. So, ito yung daw isusulat natin. Okay? Sabi, write in words. Ito. Now, don't get nervous. We can do that step by step. Dahan-dahan lang. Huwag madali, huwag matakot. Kasi, ang gawin natin is answer that step by step. Okay? So, you start with the whole number. Okay? Tingnan nyo muna yung nando doon sa left nung decimal point. Anong number ba yan? So, assume nyo muna na kunyari wala yung mga ito. Okay? Anong number yan? Kasi that's the decimal point and then pag ganun, hindi mo natin siya disregard. So, anong number yan? Yan ay correct. That is 100. So, sulat mo muna 100. Okay? And then, sunod yung decimal point. Ano ba yung basa sa decimal point? Ang basa sa decimal point ay end. So, we write there, end. Tapos, tingnan mo na yung lahat ng number na nandoon sa decimals. Oops, sorry. Balikan natin. Ito yun. Okay. So, tapos na tayo dito. Ina lang yung natitira natin na number. Kung titinan mo yung number na yan, how do you read that number? Diba? Babasahin mo ba yan na 025? Hindi. Kasi hindi naman natin binabasa yung 0 na nasa harapan. So, ang pagbasa dyan ay 25. So, you write it down. Just have to write it down. So, 25. Remember, gagamit tayo ng hyphen kapag meron tayong pinagsasama na number 25. And then, remember, we are in the decimals or we are already in decimals. Kailangan alam mo yung place value ng lahat ng digits doon sa iyong decimal number. So, you can see here the decimal point and then identify mo ano yung place value nung huling-huling digit. Okay? So, this is the decimal point. This is tenths. This is hundredths or hundredths. And then this is thousandths. So, you're going to affix that doon sa iyong sagot. Again, ito ay end, this is tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So, affix mo yung place value niya na thousandths. So, therefore, our answer is 100 and, ito yan 100 and 25, and then the place value, thousandths. Okay, so let us see kung alin dyan. Kung alin dyan yung may katulad ng sagot natin. Sa number 1 ay 125 thousandths. Walang end, so hindi na yung pwede. 125 thousandths. Ayun, so it is letter B. Sa letter C kasi, nakalagay doon 25 hundredths. Ito naman ay 25 ten thousandths. Mali naman siya. So the answer here is letter B. Okay, so that is how we are going to write the numbers into words. Ito naman, vice versa. Yung sa number, yung sunod na number. The number or the decimal is written into words. Gagawin naman natin siyang number. So, which decimal number read as 9 and 78 hundredths? Okay? So, ayan. Tunakihin natin. Okay? So, ayan yung word natin. 9 and 78 hundredths. Okay, ang gagawin mo lang is, first you have to write them into numbers. Isa-isa lang, huwag ka magmadali. Sabi, 9. Diba? Since that is 9, sulat mo lang yung number na 9. Okay, just write 9 there. Kasi 9 lang naman eh. And then, sabi ay end. So, that is decimal point. Ayan. Sabi dyan, 78 hundredths. 78. And then, alamin mo kung ano yung place value ng number mo. This is tenths, this is hundredths. So, 9 and 78 hundredths. Ayun. Actually, napatapat na yung sagot. 78 hundredths. Ito kasi ay 7 and 98 hundredths. 7 nga yan. Ang kayo doon ay 9. Dito, ang sabi niya, 9. Bakit 7? Diba? So, mali na. So, 9 siya dahil iyan yon 9. Letter C. Ito naman, 9 and 87 to. 78, diba? So, the correct answer is letter C. Okay. Now, dito naman, sa number 8, rounding naman. So, katulad din nun, pinagsabay-sabay na yung numbers. Okay, o yung lesson. Tayo, sabi, round this one, 3 and 509 thousandths to the nearest hundredths. Okay? So, papasok na dito yung lesson about rounding decimals. Okay? Naghang na naman. Sorry. Let's try to make sure na gagana uli siya. Ito, number 8 tayo So, sa number 7, katulad lang din yung example kanina. Sama tayo sa number 8. Round 3 and 509 thousandths to the nearest hundredths. Ito round down natin. Okay? So, the given number is, ulat natin dito, 3 and 509 thousandths. Sabi, nearest hundredths daw. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung i-round natin. Okay? So, balikan natin yung rules in rounding numbers. Okay? How do you round numbers ba? Now, there are two rules in rounding numbers. First rule, kapag ang number na nasa right ng number na i-round ay 0 hanggang 4, retain the number. Ibig sabihin ng retain, hindi natin siya papalitan. Kung anong number siya, as is siya. This is rule number 1. Rule number 2. Sa rule number 2, kapag ang katabing number ng ira-round ay nasa kanan ay 5 hanggang 9, we are going to add 1 or plus 1 to the number to be rounded. Okay, balikan natin to. Paano nangyari yon? Okay, what is the number to be rounded? The number to be rounded ay 0. Kasi yun yung sabi sa ating example. Round this one to the nearest hundredths. Ang 5 ay nasa tenths place, ang 0 ang nasa hundredths place, ang 9 ay nasa thousandths place. So, ang ira-round natin ay yung nasa hundredths place, which is 0. Now, tingnan mo yung number na nasa kanan. Ano ba yung number na nasa kanan? Yun. 9. The number on the right of the number to be rounded is 9. Anong rule ang gagawin natin? Should we be using rule number 1 or should we be using rule number 2? So, ang gagamitin natin ay rule number 2. Correct. So, ibig sabihin, magdadagdag tayo ng isa or plus 1 to the number to be rounded. So, ano mangyayari yon? Wala tayong pakialam dun sa mga naunang numbers, so we just have to copy them. So, 3.5. Okay? Ang i-round natin ay yung 0. Tingnan mo yung katabi niya. Ang katabi niya ay 9. Sa rule number 1, 0 to 4, hindi daw papalitan. Kapag ang katabi naman ay 5 hanggang 9, dagdag tayo ng isa or plus 1 to the number to be rounded. Since ang katabi niya na nasa kanan ay 9, therefore, we will be using the second rule, which is add 1 to the number to be rounded. So, the number is 0 plus 1, magiging 1 siya. Okay? And yung 9 natin, magiging 0. Now, this number is the same as, itong number na ito, ay katulad din niya ng number na yan. Okay? Anong pinagkaiba nila? Ito kasi mayroong 0. Ito, wala. Pero, kung titignan mo, kung halimbawa alisin natin yung 0, which is wala naman siyang value, parehas lang naman silang 3 and 51 hundredths. If you want to add the 0, okay lang din. That would be 3 and 510 thousandths. Pero again, kaya nang sabi ko, if you do not want to write the 0, okay lang. So the rule is, kailangan gawin mong 0 yung mga numbers na after. Now, this is correct. This is also correct. Ang pagiging pagkakaiba lang natin kapag sinabing simplify. Simplify meaning, paliliitin yung number or let's say, we will use less numbers. Pero either way, they are both correct. So let's see in the example kung ano yung tamang sagot. Okay, number 1, letter A, 3 and 50 hundredths. Letter B, 3 and 51 hundredths. Letter C, 3 and 55, 3 and 60. So the correct answer is letter B. Ito, 3 and 51 hundredths. Ito, pwede may 0, pwedeng wala. They are both correct. Okay. Dito sa number 10 ay binigyan na tayo ng problem. Okay. So let us try to answer this. Sensya na, naghahang na talaga, kaya kailangan siyang ay sleep mode muna. Okay. The International Amateur Athletic Federation set the standard distance for marathon at 42 and 195 thousandths kilometer round the distance to the nearest hundredths. Okay? So, nearest hundredths. Gararound natin siya. Ito, mayroong binigay sa atin yung isang trick. Okay? So, let's see. Sabi niya, 42 and 195 thousandths kilometers. And then, ang sabi, round the distance to the nearest hundredths. So, ang i-round natin ay yung 9. Okay? Remember, we have two rules. Dalawang rule natin. First rule, kapag ang number ay 0 hanggang 4, retain. Sabihin, hindi babaguhin yung number. Kapag ang katabi na nasa kanan ay 5 hanggang 9, plus 1 tayo dun sa number na ira-round. Okay, since ang number na ira-round natin ay 9, which is in the hundreds place. Hundreds place daw kasi. So, ito siya. Tingnan mo yung nasa kanan niya. Okay? We can see that the number written there is 5. So, anong rule? Ito ba? Rule number 1 ba? Ito? Or ito? Rule number 2, 5 to 9. So, the answer is this one. Kasi, ang katabi niya ay 5. Ayun o, 5 to 9 daw. Kapag ang katabi ay 5 to 9, plus 1 doon sa number na ira-round. So, ano yun? Let's try. 42. Remember, yung mga number na nasa unahan niya, kukopihin lang natin. So, plus 1 daw yung 9. So, dahil iyan ay 1, at iyon ay 9, 9 plus 1, magiging 10 siya. So, dahil siya ay magiging 10, hindi naman natin pwedeng ilagay na 1 and then 10 dito. Ang gagawin natin doon ay idadagdag na natin siya doon sa 1. So, si 1, itong 1 na to magiging 2. And then, if you want to use the two numbers, you can write them as 2 zeros. Okay? Or, pwede mo yung isulat na 42 and 2/10. Pwedeng wala na yung dalawang zero dahil kapag, let's say, binura mo yan, may pinagkaiba ba yung number? Wala din, di ba? So, ganun yan. So, we have the answer which is 42 and 2. Okay, so ano yung options natin dyan? So, the options here are letter A, 42 and 10 hundredths kilometers, 42 and 19 hundredths kilometers, 42 and 20 hundredths kilometers. Oh, sorry. And then the last one is 42 and 21 hundredths kilometers. Now, ang ginawa niya doon ay isang zero lang yung ginawa niya. So, okay lang din. You can erase 1 0, you can erase 2 0, or you can add 1 0, or you can add 2 zeros dahil yung kanya just the same. Parehas lang naman din sila na magiging value. Okay? Pwedeng iyan, or pwede rin na ganito. Dahil pare-parehas lang naman sila. Sa mathematics, kahit na yan ay may mga number na 0, since wala naman silang value doon, okay lang na mawala sila. Okay lang din na meron. So, the correct answer here is letter C. Okay? So, let's see. What comes next? Ayan o. Which digit is in the thousands place? So, ganun pa din. Yan lang. Ito ay parang review na lang. Ito naman, you're going to write them in words and vice versa. Parang ito ay, papansin nyo, yan ay number, whole number. Dito, yan o, ano na siya, decimal na siya. 35 hundredths. Okay, so alin dyan? Ito ba na 35? Ayun ba? Ito yung sinasabi ko na pwede kayong gumamit ng 0 sa harapan. Kasi kahit na siya ay ganyan. Pero yung natin example kanina. Okay, ito, ganun din, oh. Napakadami niyang zeros, di ba? Ito, oh. Now, don't be afraid. Kailangan mo lang alamin is isulat siya. Kumbaga, babasahin mo yan as 4 lang, eh. Pagkatapos mo siya mabasa ng 4, identify mo kung ano yung place value nung number na 4. Start with a, hindi alam kung hindi ma-recall, start with a tenths. So, tenths. Okay, let's see. Malakihin natin. Okay, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000s. And then, combine mo lang yun. 4 tenths, 4 10,000s. Okay? So, ayun o. Letter D ang ating sagot. 4 10,000s. Yun. Dahil wala namang nasa thousands place siya eh. Okay. Next. Natin. Okay. Ito yun, no? Ito yung chart. Diba? So, we are given with the chart here. So, tens, yung ones, and then the decimal point, ang basa dyan ay and. Dito, yung unang-unang number siya ay tens, and then hundreds, and then thousands, and then thousands. Dito, makikita nyo yung kanyang digit or the place value dito, and then yung kanyang value. So, ayan yan. Parang ito, and then 1 and 300. Let us try to understand this. Another example, 1 and 3,624 10,000s. Okay? Yung 1 siya ay ones place. Yung 3 siya ay nasa tenths place. Papansin nyo dito yung sa unang number, yung ones, wala siyang th kasi siya ay nasa whole number. Followed by tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. Okay? So, what else? Yan o. Pwede siyang sabi o. 0 and. Pwede mo siyang basahin na 0. Okay. So, sa rounding, ayan. So, ganun pa din yan. So, dalawa yung ating lesson. Rounding, reading and writing, and then rounding na siya. Okay, so dito, write the following in decimal. 9 and 9/10. Ano nyo na yan? Okay, direction. Okay, gagawin mo siyang dito, gagawin mo siyang words. So, dito, yan, ganoon din. Okay, so that's it. Okay, let's see kung ano pa. Ito yung remember. Basahin lang. Remember, read the digits in decimal as for a whole and mixed number. So, binabasa mo siya bilang whole number. Tapos, sa bandang dulo, isasama mo yung place value nung last digit. Okay? Tapos, ang decimal point ay binabasa as end. Okay? Ano natin? Yan o. Now, in rounding, dito na muli yung dalawang rule. Ito yung sa pag-round. Kapag ang katabi na nasa kanan ay 0 hanggang 4, detain. Kapag naman ang katabi na nasa kanan ay 5 hanggang 9, dadagdag ng isa. Okay? So, ito na yung sasagutan. Sasagutan. Okay, so that's it. Now, so these are the lessons in second quarter or second grading, week 1 of our module. I hope this will help you answer these modules. Okay, so good day and bye bye, and study hard, study well.